Gary, thank you so much for joining me. Many congratulations. First of all, can we persuade you to stay back?
No, thank you. It's been a remarkable journey, and to end off like this has been fantastic.
It's a dream come true, isn't it? I mean, this is something that the whole team has wanted for the longest time. You've been planning it for the longest time. For it to actually happen on that night, how did that feel?
It felt fantastic, and I'm just really pleased for the players. You know, the weight of expectation that's on those young shoulders is huge, and the way they responded to that, the way they prepared for this tournament, and then the way they played in the tournament is just all credit to their commitment to what they're doing and their pride to play for their country.
But you wouldn't reconsider your decision to stay on. I understand it's we in fact spoke to Sachin Tendulkar earlier today, and he said that we're really going to miss him and we really wish he could stay back, but I respect his decision because it's a family commitment.
Absolutely, and it's humbling and to be asked to stay on. It really is, and I've always said that this has been a massive privilege for me, but I did make a commitment to my family that this was going to be a 3-year journey, and I'd like to honour that commitment to them. There's a lot of sacrifice being away from home for long periods of time, and I've got 2 young boys of 7 and 4, and they need to see a little bit of Dad. And as much as they've travelled, and again the Indian Cricket Board have been very gracious in allowing us to come over and spend as much time together as a family, the lifestyle is not that easy.
I understand completely, but I'm sure the BCCI did try to persuade you to stay back.
Absolutely, and they did offer me an extension, which again is very humbling, but they were also very respectful of the decision that I've taken.
Gary, would you at some point consider maybe working in a consultancy position? A lot of experts that we spoke to felt that you could maybe still be in touch with the team, or keep in touch with all of them, and there's still that line open where they can communicate with you and learn from you and just have you as a support.
Well, sometimes that is very difficult, but certainly I have a huge amount of interest in Indian cricket now. I've forged some very strong relationships with many of the players, and would certainly like to see Indian cricket continue to do exceptionally well. If that requires me one way or another being in a position where I can help very much in the short term, there might be a possibility that could happen, but sometimes I think it's probably not a bad idea to have a clean break and for a fresh face to come in, and as long as it's done in the right way and an understanding of what the team dynamics are, and I think most importantly the right person comes in with the team. I have no reason to think that this team won't continue being a huge success. The players, it's a highly skilled team. It's got a fantastic captain who's a youngish guy, and I think he's going to be around for a while still. The senior players are really enjoying their cricket, so there's absolutely no reason why their good form and their good results should not continue.
We've seen eras in cricket, whether it was the West Indian era, the domination of the Australians. Do you think that the last 2 or 3 years have really begun the domination for this Indian team, and it's India's era?
Well, as a unit, we set our goals a couple of years back and firmly believed that we could become the #1 Test team in the world, and we also believed that we could win the World Cup. And we set that out a couple of years back. We decided what we needed to do to make sure that could happen. We also decided what we needed to do on a daily basis to make sure we gave ourselves the best chance of success. And again, just full credit to the players. They embraced it, they took it on board. Each one grew as an individual in terms of what he wanted to do with his cricket. The support staff played their role to help out as much as we could. But it was a real team effort, from support staff #1 to the last player in the team. A massive team effort to do everything we needed to do over the last couple of years to make sure that this happened.
Gary, you've spoken of strong relationships that you forged. One of them, of course, is Sachin Tendulkar, who's spoken so highly of you. What have you learned from him?
I've learned a lot, not only from Sachin, but a lot of the players in the team. And, it would take me too long to mention all the guys. But Sachin's been a great support to me. from the time I started in this team. I like to think that with every player I've worked really hard with them to help them in their games, whether it be the conversations we have at a one-on-one level or in the nets talking about various things and offering options. And with the help of Paddy Upton, who's been with me for the 3 years as well, we've just tried to add our value to this team in as positive way as possible, and to set up an environment that allows players to really go and express themselves out there.
There's some talk that you might consider doing an IPL stint, because of course it doesn't involve being that, that far away from home for too long, or being on the road constantly. Would you consider maybe taking up the role of, say, a Mumbai Indians coach or something like that?
I have purposely made no decisions about my future. I wanted to really commit my time, my energy and my thoughts to Team India up until the 2nd of April. And so I've made no decisions on anything. I have received offers from different places, which I'm grateful for. But I've really said to everyone, I need to go home, spend some time with my family, and enjoy that time. And obviously at some stage I need to start working again, but certainly for the next while, not rush into any decisions.
Okay, fair enough. Just looking back again at this journey, you said there were a lot of things that you had planned, whether it was becoming the #1 test team, winning the World Cup, being the #1 ODI side. I mean, it's all sort of come together so beautifully. But if I were to ask you to choose, I mean, what do you think is a greater achievement, winning the World Cup or being the #1 test team?
Well, I mean, the World Cup is the iconic event, and it's big. But I always look at it as two different teams, the Test team and the One Day team. And there've been some great Test performances by the team and by the individuals in the Test side. And it was a big mission for us to go and win a series in South Africa, and we got the draw. And I thought it was a magnificent and courageous effort by the Test side to do what we did in South Africa, because we knew that was going to be a tough ask. And then the World Cup team, which we just came together right when it counted. And our performances through last year were a little bit up and down, but we kept believing in what we were doing. We kept focusing and staying in a good space with the team, and the momentum just worked right at the right time for us, and we pulled through.
You've spoken about Dhoni as captain, and you said he's a really special guy. Do you think that he truly is amongst the best captains in world cricket today, or probably the best captain in world cricket today?
Absolutely. He is the best captain in world cricket as far as I'm concerned, and in my opinion. And it's been an absolute pleasure working with him. It's great seeing how he operates on the field, and he's got some fantastic creative ideas when he's on the field. And a lot of the time we sit in the change room and think, what is he doing now? But it works. But I think most important, he's a thoroughly nice human being. He accepts other opinions and other ideas, so it's easy to sit with him and talk through things and give your own opinions about how we go about things. I think we formed a great relationship. He basically left everything off the field up to me, to make sure we prepared the team in his best way possible. And when he got on the field, that's his space, and he just operated at his best there. And I think he's a great leader by example. And he expected his troops to be with him out in battle and to be ready and prepared. And when they were, I think they all got a sense of comfort knowing that he was the leader.
Another person that has been a revolution through the tournament, of course, is Yuvraj Singh. And what a turnaround it's been, considering, just 6 months ago he was dropped from the one-day side. How did you work with him and see him through his lowest lows? Because he spoke about how at that point he thought of even quitting cricket.
It's been a tough time for Yuvi over the last 6 months, and I don't think there's any individual I'm more pleased for than him. I think he's made some life-changing decisions about how he goes about things, and I think he spent a lot of time understanding what he needed to do. I know Paddy worked really hard with him in one-on-one sessions, and something happened, something clicked, and he realized, hold on, these are the things I need to focus on. And I felt about 6 months ago that he came through. He had a tough time. He got dropped out of the test side, but he had a really good tour in terms of his preparation and his focus. And I thought, hold on, things are going to turn here for him. And he stacked that up over 4 to 5 months, and I think probably was as well prepared as anyone else coming into this World Cup. And right from game one, I saw the energy and intensity he was bringing to his fielding, and I knew, hold on, this is a different Yuvraj Singh here, and I began to get really excited as to what he could do in this tournament.
And you actually anticipated, that he could be man of the tournament? Is that something that he...
Well, I think he surprised himself, to be honest, to be man of the tournament, but he just stuck to it, and most importantly, he played the big games out for us, and he became key in closing, closing key games out. So absolutely, but he covered all bases. He bowled well, fielded well, and batted exceptionally.
When you sort of look back at this World Cup, any standout moment for you? Of course, the winning moments will always be really sweet, but things that just made you feel like, yes, we can do it and we are right on course.
I always thought that we felt as a unit very comfortable with the round robin stages. We weren't playing great cricket, but I just got a sense that we were doing what we needed to do. We had some tough games, and I think it was good for us, and some tough victories. Even the game against Ireland, where we battled a little bit and managed to pull through. And I just felt that having those tough games was really good for us. And for me, the turning point really, and the belief that we all had as a unit, was the Australia game where we chased 260, and it was a tough ask, and we came through really well out of that. And I think from then on, everyone within the unit believed that it's really, this is ours to win.
That's exactly what Sachin said too, because he just said that we peaked at the right time, and even the fielding, that had been criticized through the league stage throughout. I mean, it just looked not so great, and suddenly in that game against Australia, it just looked 10 notches better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we worked really hard on our fielding over the last year or so, and we actually got to the knockout stages and did hardly any fielding. And all the preparation was in place, and the foundations were in place, and really what needed to happen was good intensity, good attitude out on the field, and we took our fielding to a level that I thought we could never get to. And you need catalysts in that. You need the guys who lead that, and certainly with Suresh coming back in the team, Virat Kohli and Yuvi doing a fantastic job in the inner ring. That made a big difference to everyone's confidence and everyone's energy in the field. So, those last 3 games, I mean, I've never, in the 3 years I've been here, I've never seen the team field so well.
And just the intensity that we saw, I mean, and you could tell just by how everybody was weeping right after, whether it was MS Dhoni, of course, who turned his face away from the cameras, or Sachin, who cried openly, or Yuvraj Singh. I mean, it was just so emotional for all of them. I'm sure it was really emotional for you too. It
was, and I just think it was, those players showed a real pride for their country and what they did, and I don't think anyone could fully understand the massive weight of expectation on those young players. And I say young because they are young people with massive responsibility, and the way they handled that responsibility, the way they handled the pressure, is just huge credit to them for what they take on. It was courageous to me. It takes a lot of guts to go out there with that weight of expectation every game and make the performances and make the plays in high pressure situations. And this country and the billions of people that watch can be very proud of those 15 players that produced what they did in this World Cup.
And let's not forget, part of those emotional moments was the fact that you were hoisted on the shoulders of the players, and really the only other person they did that for was Sachin. How does that make you feel?
Well, it's just been an honour and a privilege. I certainly don't feel I deserve something like that, but it's been an honour and a privilege just to be part of this, and especially, the way India has embraced me as a foreigner. Right from the outset, I said what I wanted to do is work really hard, make sure that I brought myself and all my energy to this environment and to this team, and I made sure that I didn't want to change on that. And I've taken a lot of pride in the energy I've brought to this team, and just thoroughly enjoyed every moment. I mean, it just hasn't. We've had a couple of down turns, and we didn't play so well in the T20 World Cups and everything. But for the rest, it's just been one of the greatest memories of my life.
Do you feel proud that what you couldn't do as a player, you've managed to achieve as a coach?
Oh, I think I would have loved to have won a World Cup as a player. There's no doubt. That'll always be a regret for me. And But you know, second best is to come back as a coach. You're not walking on the field, but you know, certainly to be able to add value to all the players as they cross the ropes and to help them in whatever way you can is certainly a proud moment for me. But you know, we are the backroom staff, and that's where we belong. And we do the work off the field, and we help them whatever way we can. The players cross those ropes, and they are the ones that are representing the colours and representing the badge, and they must get all the credit.
Gary, you know, you spoke about your style of functioning a little bit. It was very different from your predecessor, and that's something that has been thoroughly appreciated. To somebody who was much more of a quiet force, a quiet worker. Is that the style that works best with the Indian team?
I'm not sure. You know, I just brought myself to this team, and I wanted to bring all of who I was. And for me, it wasn't difficult because that's who I am as a person. So obviously fantastic that it worked in this Indian environment and worked with these players. And you know, for me, it's been a real privilege to work with these individuals. And you know, I just remember saying to myself right from the outset, if I just give all of myself and 100% of that, and we create an environment where everyone is happy, everyone's enjoying their cricket, and at the same time that we create it in a way that each player can fully express his skill, that he's not restricted to play a certain way. He can play the way he wants to play because that's why he arrived here, within what we're trying to achieve as a team. Then we're going to get maximum out of everyone. And